I saw a TikTok and this lady said that being beautiful means be you to the full. Like when you spell the word beautiful, it's be you to the full. And I like that. And that's what I'm talking about today. Being beautiful and finding beauty within yourself, because beauty is truly, truly subjective. It really is a matter of beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Hi, my name is Boosie. Welcome to my channel. Beauty being in the eye of the beholder is simply that beauty is a very subjective thing. Beauty has a lot to do with someone's perspective and perception of how appealing something is, right? And I think beauty standards make the mistake of thinking that beauty is an objective thing, to say this is the truth. Someone who has a big booty, big titties, small waist, that is what is considered beautiful. Someone with long hair, flat hair, that is what is considered beautiful. Someone with eyes that are China eyes or a pointy nose, thick lips, that is what's beautiful. Thinking that beauty is something that is objective, that there is one truth to define what beauty is, and that beauty is someone who looks like XYZ, XYZ, XYZ. Not understanding that beauty is very subjective, because all around the world, we all literally have different genetics, ancestral genetics. We don't have the same ancestors, therefore we are all going to literally be built differently. Example, someone out there in the world, there's a country where women who have large gaps are considered beautiful, and the woman goes to the extent of actually like going and forcing a gap in their teeth, because the bigger the gap, the more pretty you are. And then in other countries, it's like you have to have straight teeth, no gaps, and that's what's considered beautiful. So for you to live your life based on beauty standards that don't even come from you is a crazy thing, because now you are deeming yourself and assigning value to yourself based on someone else's perception of you. So today we are talking about beauty standards, yay, and finding beauty within yourself. Because like I said, beautiful is being you to the full, and today that is what we're gonna get into. Starting off with beauty standards, I already mentioned some things about beauty standards. Some of these beauty standards, you need to go and investigate them before you go on and take those traits and think that this is what beautiful is, because some beauty standards are rooted in things like pedophilia, the patriarchy, economics, and religious and spiritual beliefs. So you cannot go now and say that, yeah, I'm gonna behave like this, not knowing why that thing is even deemed beautiful, and then you're just gonna go slave your whole life to make sure that you fit within this specific mold, not knowing that that mold was actually designed by someone who is a pedophile. Example, there's certain like things that men like in women, they don't even like in women, they like in girls. Because things like, if let's not even say men, but yeah, some beauty standards come from men, really truly. But things like, oh, I want a woman whose boobs are still like standing up, they perky, she must be hairless, she mustn't have wrinkles, no cellulite, no stretch marks. All these things that they are describing are likened to a teenager's body, to a child's body, because who is hairless? A child. Who still has perky boobs? Teenagers. Some teenagers, not even all. Teenagers have perky boobs. Who doesn't have wrinkles? Teenagers. But as you mature, as you grow older, gravity is literally gonna say, huh, to your boobs. It's gonna say, come here, I want you, and your boobs are going to fall, and it is a part of being a woman. So a lot of the times when the things that you desire, being hairless, having boobs that are like still up, sitting perky, some of them are rooted in the fact that there are men out there who like young girls, and as a result you are now chasing a beauty standard that is rooted in pedophilia. Things like that, where it's like a lot of the stuff that we chase and think that, hey, this is what is beautiful, are rooted in things like pedophilia. Economics as well, like some stores are not, they don't care about you, they care about the money that is going to come to their business, right? So things like that, certain trends that are happening, you will be left out of that trend, because some retailers are not people centered, they are trend centered, and then they produce clothes accordingly. So you can't now go into a whole state of wanting to change your body because now you went to go look for clothes at Mr. Price, and Mr. Price didn't cater to your body size. Remember, there was a time where it's like most clothes were just centered around BBL bodies. It's things like that where designers will now, well, not even designers, fast retail shops, they will focus on producing clothes that sell quicker. And what sells quicker? The thing that is trending the most. So things like that, where now you should not go and change your whole body or be depressed about how certain clothes sit on you, because you're like, you walk into the store and you're like, nothing in here fits me, nothing suits my body. Understand that some stores are not necessarily people centered. They are here, they're in it for the money, and they just do the thing that is going to get them the most amount of money. And sometimes those designs will not cater to your body, and this is where now you go and explore and find other stores that do cater to your body and to your tax bracket. Another reason is like religious beliefs. Some people have some beauty standards are rooted in weird religious beliefs, even like spiritual beliefs, right? There's a reason why, like, chakra hands, we say that this one is a chakra hand. You can identify that person because most of the time they've got locks, they're very earthy, or like an afro, wear minimal makeup, I also have those rings because I like them, like the stone rings, they wear crystals, beads, they wear beaded whatever. It's like, they have a look, and that look is cute. At some point, I wanted to dress like a chakra hand because that look is cute, but I feel like it's not gonna suit me. I use on funnel, but things like that where they dress in a certain type of way because it is rooted in the fact that some beads, some necklaces, some rocks, crystals, whatever, channel certain energies, and that's why they dress a certain way, the way that they do. Some religious beliefs will tell you, cults will tell, let me not say that, but some cults will tell you don't wear earrings because, and they'll just be like, earrings are demonic, da 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 da. It's not necessarily that they're demonic. It's just that when you go look at the history of earrings, sometimes slaves would get earrings. So that's why some churches will tell you in this church you're not allowed to wear earrings. So things like that, where it was a subjective thing way back when. It was a truth that was for a certain point in time. Now some people use that truth as, they use that perspective as if it's the objective truth, like this is what it is. So things like that, go and investigate it. So now with the patriarchy, beauty standards being rooted in patriarchy, right? Part of being beautiful is not just what we see on the exterior. Take care of that, love that, absolutely tea. But you also need to do some internal work, because beauty is not just what we see on the outside, it's also what is within. Your characteristics, your identity, how you carry yourself, that is also beautiful. There are women out there who just have this elegance, and it's not that they dress elegant or they look elegant. Elegant is just the way that they move, the way that they carry themselves, where it's like, oh, she just has this je ne sais quoi. And it's like, yes, lady, you're giving what has to be gave, even if they are dressed very casually. And a lot of it has to do with inner work. It's a lot of, you can see a woman who has accepted themselves just based on their aura. It's not even about how they dress. It's just the story, the narrative that they have about themselves within their heart and within their mind. And you can see that this is a woman who is sure in herself. And that is why you look at her and say, she is beautiful. Wow. 10 out of 10 woman, because she is sure about herself. She's done the inner working. She's confident within herself. She's healed. She's whole. She's grounded. She's rooted. And all of that is a lot of self-work. So beauty is not just something that we see on the outside. It is also something that we see on the inside. It is your characteristics, your identity, how you present yourself, how you carry yourself. That is also what adds to a woman's beauty. Now with patriarchy, how these beauty standards of the patriarchy filter into that is because the patriarchy is centered around like grooming women in a way that is pleasing to a man. Like, you are not to be loud, because a loud woman is a woman who will not be picked by a man, because men want women who are so submissive and quiet, while they likened submissiveness to being quiet. So as a woman, you can't be too loud. And then you see that filtering into like weird things in society where, like, when women are out and about, it's like the moment back in the olden days, the moment you would laugh out loud or you just be like very loud with who you are, it's like, oh, she's a hooligan. Why is she behaving like that? And those things are stemmed and rooted in patriarchy. So sometimes you will think that you are a timid person, but God forbid you ever describe yourself as timid without actually understanding, am I timid, or am I timid only because society says that a woman who will be picked is a timid woman, Things like, are you just a yes woman? Like, yeah, whatever a man says goes. Or are you someone who actually has opinions, but you've never taken the time to understand your opinions? Because again, society has told you that a woman without opinions is a woman who is going to be picked. You have to get to a point where you are comfortable with yourself and your behaviors and your characteristics. If you're loud, be loud. And of course, there's a time and a place for everything. Yes, I'm not saying go be ratchet in every single setting, but there is a time and a place for everything where certain environments do cater for you to be loud and expressive, and certain environments, unfortunately, you cannot do that because, hi, the environment calls for a different type of behavior, a different type of characteristics and personality traits, and there's nothing wrong with that. We all need to learn to read the room. So, yeah, that's why, like, certain things, certain desires that you have, things that femininity is defined by, you have to come to that definition for yourself and not just go along with the narrative that a feminine woman is someone who is quiet, a feminine woman is someone who is easygoing. Like, that's not necessarily what femininity is. It's just that we've been sold that idea of femininity because, hi, we were designed to cater to a patriarchal system, and just this whole system where the identity of a woman was based on the type of man that picked her. And so the raising of a woman was always centered around being picked by a man. So where women were allowed, they would never ever be picked, and they were seen as rebellious because it's like, which man is gonna love you? You know, even things like the type of nails that you do. I mean, if you look at like African culture, a lot of like African culture, Caribbean culture, the nails that the woman did were loud, they were bold, they were colorful, full of jewels, because at that time that's what was nice to them. And then sometimes, I don't know where along the line, part of colonization, we now deemed the Western view of femininity to be the only femininity way. Your nails should be quiet. In fact, why do you even have nails? If you do have nails, it should be like a pink gel polish that no one is even gonna notice. And it's like, bro, what? Because now when you have like loud nails, you're asking for attention, and it's like, you're not actually asking for attention. This is just how you choose to express yourself. This is what your version of femininity looks like. And because there are people out there who are like, but that's not how women should behave, they're gonna get mad. But it's like, but bro, this is how I want to behave, and if I want to behave like this, so be it. It's not offensive to you. I'm not killing anyone, so let me be, you know? So yeah, like, those are just some of the reasons and things, systems that beauty standards are linked to and rooted in. And all I want for all of us to do is just to go and assess the things that you define as beautiful. When you look at yourself in the mirror and say, I am beautiful, or I am not beautiful because I don't have XYZ, make sure those reasons are not rooted in things like pedophilia, in things like economic status, in things like the patriarchy, and like religious, weird, cultish reasons. You know, make sure it is because you have come to an understanding that my body type is like this, therefore I cannot shop at so and so store, I cannot wear so and so clothing. Understand that all these things that you define as beautiful and what you see as beautiful or not beautiful is because you have explored that thing. And when you look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, as Boosie, as Lebo, as Kumo, when I look at myself in the mirror, do I accept who it is that I am? Do I like the way that I look? And if you do, then that is amazing, right? So quick notes on how to get to a point where, you know, you feel more beautiful. Number one, decenter others and men from what you define as beautiful. Do not buy things for the male gaze. Do not dress for the male gaze. If your whole wardrobe is so that you can be picked by a man, my babes, go back to the drawing board and find a way where you're going to dress in a way that you will be comfortable with yourself. Because then, I promise you, there's men out there who will love you. For as long as you just look like yourself, you'll be fine. Even if it's not a thing about men, it's about others. I promise you. Again, short hair, long hair, weave, braids, nails, no nails, dress, pants, whatever, there is always a woman out there who will be like, girl, you look so tea. I've received compliments in many stages of existing, and that's simply because at everything I do, at the core of how I dress, how I present myself, I'm always sticking to myself. I'm not doing anything for the approval of the outside world, because hi, I'm clad in the outside world. Decenter the desire to be accepted by others and the desire to be picked by a man. Decenter those things. And then you put yourself at the center of that, and you will now start to be on this journey of discovering what is beautiful. What does it look like to be you to the full, right? Number two is pay attention to yourself. Start paying attention to yourself. Look at yourself in the mirror more often. Like, stare at yourself, but when you stare, look for the good things. Because I know sometimes you look at yourself and like, you'll notice all the terrible things, but look at yourself and see the good things. Also, when you stare at yourself, be very mindful of what phase you're in when it comes to your period, because there are sometimes where literally you will feel like you look like a gorilla, but you will feel a bit like, whoo, cha, I look I look wretched. And that's because you're probably in your luteal phase. And so your hormones already, the way you perceive yourself is just, it's not good because your hormones are already down. So also be mindful of that, because I know that there are times when I look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, you're kill. You look rough. And I know that it's because of my cycle, because I'm literally in a phase of my period where it's bad. Not even my period, just my cycle, where everything is just bad, everything is just terrible. And then you have other times like your ovulation times, like when you're ovulating, you just feel like you're glowing. Like I know that when I'm feeling myself and I'm feeling myself to the max, I'm ovulating. Because then I look at myself with the fresh set of eyes and I'm like, ground, look at you. But you pay attention to yourself. Look at yourself in the mirror. Another thing I do is I stare at myself naked in the mirror. I look at myself naked in the mirror a lot. Do that as well and start noticing the things about your body that you love. And if there's things that you can't find to love, hey, look for them. But if not, if there's certain things about yourself that you'd like to change, please, no needles, no injections, because you're going to have to do needles, injections for the rest of your life. Just find healthier ways, natural ways to change things that you don't like about yourself, right? And make sure it's like for health purposes and not just so that, again, you can be picked or because society says that this type of body is not nice. Let it be rooted in health reasons and in just something that you want to do, you know? Pay attention to yourself, know your body type, and then also know the stores that cater for your body type. This takes time. Pay attention to the stores that cater for your body type and start shopping there. Do not go, if you wear 4XL, 2XL, 3XL, do not go to Zara because you will be disappointed. Find something like a Foschini, find a Mr. Price, a Contempo, and they will have something that caters to your size, right? If you are a curvaceous girl, don't be going to a store that caters for mostly white people's bodies, because you will walk into that store and find nothing, because the store does not cater for African bodies that have big bums, big boobs. It's usually catered for small bodied women, because Western women are associated to have small, tiny bodies, right? So things like that. And even for black girls, sometimes you will not be able to go and support local business because local business supports curvaceous South African women and you happen to be built like a white woman. So go to stores that cater for white women, you know, things like that. Start to pay attention to yourself, pay attention to your body, and also the stores that cater for your body. Even with your face, pay attention to what makeup works for your face, the type of makeup looks that work for your face. I stopped doing my makeup in certain ways because I felt like it was making my face look long, and I don't have a long face, I have a short face. So what I did was I looked for creators with faces like mine so that I can learn like certain makeup hacks and tricks and stuff like that that cater for my very round, small, not long face, you know? So things like that. Pay attention to yourself and then go and explore. As number 3, take care of how you feel, and that comes with exploration. Find what it is that makes you confident. Like, what makes you confident? And your confidence cannot be something that you find when people compliment you, because then your confidence is centered around a third party, and you don't have a third party in your life all the time. You cannot be getting dressed, doing your makeup, choosing a hairstyle, nails, and hoping that someone out there will like it, because then what happens when someone doesn't like it? Then it means that you're not confident. Confidence is something that should come from within you. You should have this thing in you that says, yeah, this hair, these nails, that type of way of dressing, this is something that I like, me and myself, I like this, and be okay in that, sit in that and be okay with it, you know? So find the things that make you confident. So things that make me super confident is a watch. It's winter now, so I couldn't really wear my watch because, yeah, also my watch, it's a long story, but I like a watch. A watch just gives me this thing, you know? So I like a watch. I like when my hair's done, because when my hair's done, I feel like I can conquer the world. I like a good lip combo, but I only like a lip combo when I have makeup, because when I don't have makeup, I've got hyperpigmentation and I feel like it just makes it 10 times visible. So things like that, like understand yourself, pay attention to yourself, and see what works and what doesn't work. Some people can go outside with just a lip combo and rock it, TTT, love it down. I'm just not one of those people. I need something on my face for me to rock a lip combo, or my hyperpigmentation has to like just disappear for me to rock a lip combo. But things like that, pay attention to yourself, find the things that make you confident and invest in those things. Some people, confidence comes from their fragrance, how they smell, and so they invest in that. For some people, it comes from jewelry, wearing gold, wearing silver, things that accentuate your features, and invest in that, you know? Find the things that you like about your body and invest in those things. Find ways to enhance those things, but not enhancement it's like, hey, like what? Like a boob job or like a BBL. No, find the things that you like about yourself and enhance those things. The things that you don't like about yourself, also find a way to make sure that you put it, you are able to package it in a way that you end up liking it. So if unale swap, find pants that work for you instead of going and buying clothes that are super, super revealing and body hugging and whatever. Find clothes that work for you, because the last thing you want to do is now wear a dress and your bum is like an ironing board, and then now you're gonna wear a dress, go outside and be like, be self-conscious. I hate leaving the house when I'm self-conscious, because no, babes, I'm not gonna do that. So cater for yourself. Literally go into the stores, even if you're not buying anything, go to the shops, go into the fitting rooms and fit different types of pants, different sizes, different styles, and see what works for you. When you wear white clothes, how does your bum look? Does it make you feel like, ooh? Because some clothes will give you that illusion of, oh, na lila raunyan, and some clothes just say, you ain't got none. So things like that. Go and explore and invest in the things that make you feel good about yourself. If there are things that you don't feel good about yourself, find a way to just work around it. I don't like body hugging dresses because I'm not as curvaceous. So what do? I just stay away from body hugging dresses because, Sana, what am I doing there? Because now I'm going to go out into the world self-conscious. There are some dresses where I'm like, that's cute, and I find a way to work around it, So yeah, things like that. Just explore, and the things that you do love about yourself, invest in those things. Invest in those things. Never let anyone tell you that beauty is vain. It is not a vain thing. I mean, Queen Esther in the Bible, pretty privilege is what helped to save the Israelites because of her beauty, because she took care of the way that she looked and she was very beautiful. The king found her pleasing, and now she was in the king's palace, and at the right time, her beauty came in hand, because then she was able to set the Israelites free. So take pride in your beauty. Take pride in the way that you look. Do not just, this is me and this is me. Girl, take care of yourself. Find the things that you love about yourself and just invest in those things. How do you make yourself more confident, and let that confidence not be centered around other people? Let it be confidence that comes from you and you alone, a thing that is within. Remember that you must be beautiful. Being beautiful is being you to the full. I'm going to tell you some things that made me feel more beautiful about myself and made me feel more confident in my own skin. I stopped using filters. I don't use filters, filters like social media filters. I don't use filters like that. I use color grading things because I like my pictures to have a certain mood and feel to it. Same thing as this video. Doesn't actually look like this. I put a color grading thing to it, and so it looks different. But filters as in things that alter the way your face and your lips and your eyes look, I stopped using that because that's not my face. I don't wear makeup that takes away from my natural face. I want you to see my face, know my face. When you see me on the street, you should be able to say, oh, that's her. I don't like wearing makeup that literally is that her? Is that not her? I don't like such makeup looks, so I stay away from them. I stare at myself in the mirror a lot. When it comes to people, a lot of inner work. I journal a lot. I pay attention to the things that I like about myself. I look at the things that I don't like about myself, and then I change them. My encounters with people, how do people perceive me? It's a weird thing because most of the time it was just like, oh my gosh, I didn't like you. And why? I don't know. I just didn't like you. Those are things that I cannot change. There was a time the way I was like, what about me comes off very intimidating, because some people will also say that they were intimidated by me. So I'm just like, what about me is intimidating? And I try to see, is it a thing of I've got my walls up, I've got my guards up, and when I saw that it actually wasn't any of those things, then it's like, okay, I can't fix that. It's really just now up to the third party, but it's something that I can't fix. But inner work, because beauty is also a inner work thing. Invest in the qualities about yourself that you don't like and fix those things. Therapy is also a way to make you beautiful, because I promise you, trauma ages you. Trauma ages you. Heartbreak, we can see it because wambasha. Your spirit not being in the right place, your spiritual stance, we can see it because you look dry, you look ashy. When you are invested in a spirit that takes life away from you, we can see it because wambasha. There's something called the Jesus glow. It's a real life thing where someone is just beautiful and you're like, what the heck? And it's because there's a light that lives inside of them. So take care of your spirit, because that also will literally change how it is that you look. It changes your whole appearance. It changes your appearance. So invest in things like that. And yeah, like some insecurities, just you'll grow out of them. I promise you. I never used to like my lips. Now I love my lips. And it's just something that I grew out of. Also, our responsibility as a society is just when you are defining what beauty is, please, please, please don't look at a girl child and be like, oh, don't point out their flaws and what. Speak life into them and, help them along their journey of, oh, maybe not like this. Hi, Ganje. Do you like this, because certain things, yes, we cannot help our genetics and our genetics make us look a certain way. So you have to be now the big sister, the auntie, the mother to a daughter and let her know that, my babes, don't go for this style because it's not that flattering. Go for this type of style, instead of just pointing out insecurities and them saying, oh, you're this or that. Come with solutions to the table. If they even want those solutions, and if not, it is okay. Beauty is subjective. It really is in the eye of the beholder, and being beautiful just simply means that you must be you to the full. So take some time to understand yourself, explore yourself, your interests, and what makes you confident, and make sure that whatever it is that you deem as beautiful, it is not rooted in weird beliefs. Please make sure it is not rooted in anything weird. Let it be rooted in things that you understand and you like and you feel confident in. But yeah, that's it for me. Until the next time you see my face on your screen. Bye.